Hey, what's hanging, guys? Today I'm gonna be talking to you a little bit about Huckleberry Finn. More specifically, like the superstition aspects of it, because that's the part I was assigned, and we're gonna be talking about like supernatural stuff in it, quote unquote, not really, and how superstition still finds its way into today's society. So yeah, let's hop right into this. Alright, guys, so this first quote is from Huck. It's from chapter 1. We jump right into the superstition. And, it says, pretty soon a spider went crawling up on my shoulder, and I flipped it off, and it lit up in the candle. Before it could even budge, it was all shriveled up. I didn't need anybody to tell me that this was an awful bad sign and would fetch me some bad luck. So I was scared and it almost shook the clothes off of me. I got up and turned around in my tracks 3 times and crossed my breast every time. Then I tied up a little lock of my hair with a thread to keep the witches away. Now, Huck starts right off with superstition. He sees a spider on the shoulder, flicks it off, and like explodes in the candle, which he thinks is bad luck. So he turns around and hits himself a bit, and then he ties up some of his hair, thinking that it'll keep witches away, which is pretty weird. But I mean, like, whatever. This is the 1800s. Like, 80% of people still believe that the world was round. Can you believe that? So this next quote is again from Huck. It's just from the narration, and it actually relates to Jim. Jim is probably one of the most superstitious characters in here, and the quote reads, "Jim said the witches bewitched him and put him in a trance and rode him all over the state, then set him under the tree again and hung his hat on the limb to show who had done it." Alright, so here we got our boy Jim, and he's saying he was bewitched by the witches, and then they rode him around the state, and he later changed to like the whole world, like he was some horse. Like, they literally rode him. That's what he's claiming, around the world. And I don't really want to get into like the logistics of him claiming that witches rode him, but it's not even superstitious. That's like in fantasy. I don't even know how you come up with that, but I mean, he is, like I said, one of the most superstitious characters, so I wouldn't put it past Jim. Alright, we got another quote here from our main guy, Huck, and it says, "One morning, I happened to turn over the salt cellar at breakfast. I reached for some of it as quickly as I could to throw it over my left shoulder and keep off the bad luck, but Miss Watson was in ahead of me and crossed me off. She says, 'Take my hands away, Huckleberry, what a mess you are always making.' The widow put in a good word for me, but that weren't going to keep me off the bad luck." Alright, now this particular quote was it's actually kind of interesting because out of all of the superstition in Huck Finn, this is like one of the only superstitious things they mention that's still like super prominent today. We all know, like, throw some salt over your shoulder if you spill it. But, anyways, here we got a Huck. He spilled some salt, and, naturally tried to throw it over his shoulder. He didn't even give it a second thought. And then, unfortunately, Miss Watson kind of RKO'd him before he could get the salt over. He got kind of angry, and he was like, well, she's doing me good, but I'm still gonna get bad luck. And oddly enough, his pap comes in like I think the next chapter after this. So not only is this like showcasing like the superstitious satire, but it's also a little bit of foreshadowing. So that's like pretty good on Mark Twain's part, eh? Alright, this quote reads, "I was gonna follow around, but I stooped down to look at the tracks. First, I didn't notice anything at first, but next I did. There was a cross in the left hook heel of a big nail that kept off the devil." Now, this quote is actually by, the man of the hour, Pap. You know, probably one of the most respectable characters in the book. And he is he is just like taking note, like, hey, I saw some footprints outside, and one of them there was a cross in the left heel with two big nails, and apparently that's a sign that wards away the devil. I mean, it's natural to think a cross would ward away the devil, but I mean, like, seeing like footprints that stepped on a couple of nails, I don't know, it's kind of edgy. But it just shows that Pap is just as superstitious as Huck, who is a quarter of as superstitious as Jim is. Alright, so we've got another Huck quote here, and it reads, Miss Watson's African American servant by force who is superior to us white folks in all aspects, Jim, had a full ball of hair as big as your wrist, which he took out of the fourth stomach of an ox, and he used to do magic with it. He said there was a spirit inside of it, and it knowed everything. Alright, so, in this quote, we had our homie Jim. He's back at it again. He found a giant ball of hair in the stomach of an ox, which, that's pretty weird. He kept it for some reason, and he used it for magic, which is even weirder, considering Miss Watson was, like, presumably Christian, but whatever, I'll look past that. And then, he would ask the ball for advice because it knowed everything, so Huck took Jim's word for it, because Huck is just as gullible as Jim at this stage of the story. And, he asks it questions, but obviously he gets no response back, because, it's just a giant hairball. Alright, this quote is again from Huck. They already escaped to the island at this point. And it reads, And there was the ferry boat, full of people floating along down. I knowed what was the matter now. Boom! I see the white smoke swirling all of it around the ferry boat's side. You see, they was firing cannon over the water, trying to make some of the carcasses float to the top. Now, this quote is interesting like the other one was because it's got a little bit of logic mixed in with it. So, like Huck stated, the townspeople, they rolled up in a giant steamboat. Then they got in a pirate battle with, an invisible pirate ship right next to them. It was firing cannons. Now, the hopes were that the shockwave would shake up whatever the bodies were tangled with underneath and they'd float to the top. Which, that makes sense, and, I'll give them credit for that. But, whatever credibility they built with me goes down the drain because they threw mercury on bread and they also threw it in the water. And that's not going to help dead bodies float up. And, to make things worse, I'm pretty sure that Jim and Huck also, picked up some mercury bread and ate it. That's not safe. Alright, guys, so this is going to be the last quote we're doing because we're already, 8.5 minutes into this thing. Alright, so here it is. Jim told me to chop off the snake's head and throw it away, and then skin the body and roast a piece of it. I done it, and he ate it, said it would help cure him. He made me take off the rattles and tie them around his wrists too. He said that would help. Okay, now, this again is another one of Jim's famous superstitions. Now previously he told Huck that if he played with that snakeskin, it would bring bad luck, and Huck brushed him off. But then, Jim got bitten by a snake. Pretty sure it was rattlesnake, but I don't remember. And then, which kind of proved Jim's superstition right, at least in Huck's eyes. So, now in this quote, it shows that Huck is kind of buying into Jim's superstition. He's like, oh, maybe that snakeskin was bad luck.
I miss the old Kanye, straight from the gold Kanye. Chop up the soul Kanye, set on his goals Kanye. I hate the new Kanye, the bad mood Kanye, the always rude Kanye, spaz in the news Kanye. I miss the sweet Kanye, chop up the beats Kanye. I gotta say, at that time I'd like to meet Kanye. See, I invented Kanye, it wasn't any Kanye. And now I look around and there's so many Kanyes. I used to love Kanye, I used to love Kanye. I even had the pink polo, I thought I was Kanye. What if Kanye made a song about Kanye? Call I miss the old Kanye. Man, that be so Kanye. That's all it was, Kanye. We still love Kanye. And I love you like Kanye loves Kanye.